how much do you explicitly use, and how useful is it to use kind of acting techniques and strategies with the clients, as it were?
I just focus on the person first, and then whatever else that I've learned, if it's useful, it's useful. And sometimes something I might draw from acting might be useful. If a couple is really dialed up from traumas, and they're activating each other, most definitely I will do a kind of warm up with them, a kind of meditation. I will get them into different parts of their body, and specifically, and this is a big one for a lot of people, get them to a place where they can be in kind of their willpower center of themselves, use their body and their voice in a way where they can be angry and they can be assertive, but it's not necessarily losing control. But what I always do with people is this is where Stanislavsky would also come in, is thinking about their subtext. People always want to insist on the text that they used was just right with their partner, with their mother, or whoever. And it's always a question of, well, how did you say it? And then we walk through the message they were actually giving. Were you trying to win an argument, or were you trying to connect with someone? So I will use, especially that one a lot, is sort of, that's a big one for me, is sort of like, what was the objective that you were up to, and how did that show up in your tone of voice and your eyes and your face? And what happens if you change your objective? Suddenly the whole instrument changes. So that I often do, explicitly with clients.
So turning the scenes of their life into things that you can think about as scenes in a Stanislavskian way.
Absolutely. It's incredibly useful. And actually, that's what all the couples therapy techniques are up to. It's what links them all. It's why we don't have to be fighting. If you just remind yourself that we're all up to the same thing, and look to Stanislavsky, who's so helpful in this way. Where, it's just about, what are you trying to say? And how are you saying it? And what is the real subtext there? And then how can maybe a breathing exercise help you to say what you need to say as assertively as possible, but with the real message, which is that you stepped on my toes. And I'm not saying you're the worst person ever, but I am saying I'm hurt and I want you to be accountable for it. And then I want to move past this. Whereas typically we might just say, you stepped on my toes, you idiot. I'm indicting you. You're canceled, whatever, the divisive ways in which we've gotten locked into, accusing each other of things these days. Yeah, so actually this idea is not just about therapy or acting. It's about human relationship. It could save the world. It certainly could save my country. People just need to learn how to talk to each other in a way that takes responsibility for our given set of circumstances, what we're trying to achieve in the way of connection, and what's getting in the way of that. That's really all I'm up to in my work.